Beyond the Las Vegas Strip, there is the thriving underworld of illegal gambling.
Everybody's doing it. No one wants to talk about it. Let's regulate it.
But in this underground economy, fortunes are on the line.
The gambling world is set up for suckers to lose.
And lives hang in the balance.
All of these crimes that are used to intimidate people, to bring them into line, to punish them, occur as a result of attempts to try to keep the money flowing.
Away from the bright lights and the excitement of casinos, in back rooms and dark alleys, there is the world of illegal gambling. It is a multi-billion-dollar business, and millions of Americans are in on the action. Welcome to CNBC Investigates, the big business of illegal gambling. I'm Melissa Francis. Illegal gambling may conjure images of mobsters, bookies, and threats of violence. But while that underground world still exists, technology has made illegal gambling much more accessible. The same computer used for work or to connect with friends can be used to wager outside the law. In this hour, you'll see how this high-stakes business can bring wealth, but also prison and even death. October 26, 2005. The Chicago White Sox win the World Series 4-0. Fans cheer the White Sox first championship since the infamous Black Sox cheating scandal. This man couldn't be happier, but he's not a fan. He's a professional gambler who goes by the name Vegas Runner. Before the start of the season, the Sox are a 50-to-1 long shot. He likes their odds and puts down $4,000. The payout? A cool $200,000.
Yeah, that was a nice baseball season. It was an excellent baseball season and really gave me a spring to jump into football that was coming up.
Come on, Stevie! Illegal gambling can give huge paydays, but the risks are equally big.
It's a gray line. Sports betting is the one topic nobody wants to talk about, but everybody does it.
Millions of Americans gamble illegally, and sports betting is by far the biggest moneymaker, according to pregame.com, a sports betting information site. It finds that on the Super Bowl alone, $10 billion are wagered illegally. $12 billion is put down on the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Of all the money bet on sports, most of it goes through an illegal bookmaker. RJ Bell is the founder of pregame.com.
When we take estimates, and this is estimates, is we believe that 1% of the action or so is in Nevada, which is strictly legal based upon the United States laws. And we believe that it's about 50-50 after that between online sports books and what we call the barroom bookies, the guy down the street who's taking the bets.
In other words, according to Bell's estimates, for every $100 bet on sports, 99 are wagered illegally. In addition to sports, there are online casinos which draw about $50 billion in wagers from Americans every year. There are also illegal lotteries or numbers rackets, underground casinos, and even dogfights. And no one is beyond illegal gambling's grasp or consequences, as the Michael Vick case shows. Illegal gambling is one of the biggest underground industries in the world.
You got to learn how to stay under the radar. You got to be careful who you deal with and not brag, not drive fancy cars.
The man we'll call Paul makes his living outside the law as a sports bookmaker. Paul is appearing in shadow because each bet he books could put him in prison for years.
10, 20 years ago, you had the neighborhood guy at the pizza joint. You know, those guys probably still exist, but most guys have gone higher tech where you just, do it over the computer.
Paul runs his own website, which is part of a much bigger conglomerate based in Costa Rica. It's located offshore because the website violates state and federal laws in the U.S. Paul charges his clients an 8% vig, or fee, on every bet.
It's like a game, basically, is how I consider it. I'm playing games for a living. But now I can make a decent living and hopefully stay out of trouble.
In a good year, Paul says he makes between $80,000 and $100,000. But the hard part is collections.
Whatever leverage you have, you try to use it. They were referred to you by a friend, say, hey, you know, I'm going to have to ask your buddy then to pay your tab if that's the kind of, you're going to pull this on me and not pay me.
Paul learns early on that threats will backfire. In one case, while trying to collect several $1,000s from a deadbeat client, he leaves an angry voicemail.
The next morning I woke up and I listened to my voicemail and he said, hey, if you ever call me again, I will go right straight to Metro. I had to stop at that point, basically. I mean, he had me checkmate. So I said, okay, you got me.
Casual gamblers will bet on almost anything, from bingo to the outcome of a presidential race to who will be the next pope. Professional gamblers tend to focus on one thing.
It sounds hypocritical, but I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. I walk into the casino and nothing else turns me on. You couldn't get $20 out of me to put in a slot machine because I know I have no advantage over it. Get me 422 Buffalo Bills plus the 6 for 3 dimes.
Smart man.
Vegas Runner's gambling is a full-time job, one he takes as seriously as any Wall Street trader. Most days, he wakes up at 3 a.m. to check the lines. He is constantly researching teams, looking for an edge, any bit of information that will give him a leg up over the odds makers and the other bettors.
I don't bet for action. I don't bet because I love even though I enjoy sports, I don't wager because I enjoy it. I wager because there's an edge. And you only have to hit 53, 54% to grind out a good living. And it can be done. I've had them losing years, but not enough where it stopped me from doing what I love to do and where I'm able to provide a very good living for myself.
The game has changed a lot since he started in the business 20 years ago. In high school, he was a bookie. The other students had a saying.
It was looky, 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 ace with his black bookie. I would just walk down the hall every day with my little black pad, and guys would just run up and ask what the line was and put down their action.
Vegas Runner switched from bookie to bettor and moved from Philadelphia to Las Vegas. But even here, he operates in the shadows. Most of the bets he places are with illegal bookies. Why? It's simple economics. Bookies charge a lower fee.
If they were to increase their vig, I would have to find a new profession because then their edge would be too great. And you just wouldn't be able to maintain a winning percentage high enough to be able to beat the sports books.
Though Vegas Runner could be prosecuted for placing bets, law enforcement tends to focus on the bookmakers, not the bettors. He isn't afraid of getting caught so much as losing his money.
I prefer using bookmakers that I've developed a long relationship with through the years, a trustful relationship. If I click on my computer and my balance says 0 tomorrow, what are my options?
For bookies like Paul, staying one step ahead of law enforcement is more of a challenge.
I've been thinking about this. I might have to leave the country someday. I mean, I don't want to, but if the Republicans get back in charge, I mean, they're very anti-online gaming. I thought with Obama in charge now that we'd have a chance to legalize it, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Up next on CNBC Investigates, illegal gambling cost this man his home, his business, his family, and almost cost him his life.
I just decided, you know what? They'd all be better off without me. So, next bridge, turn the steering wheel.
Illegal gambling, some people believe, is a victimless crime, a harmless vice. But that's not true in Chicago, where in 2005, federal prosecutors unveil a sweeping case involving illegal gambling and murder.
In total, 18 murders were charged as part of the racketeering conspiracy, ranging from a murder committed in 1970 to a murder committed in 1986.
13 defendants stand trial in a case involving 18 murders, all of them related directly